Hey everyone, it's Kimmy. I am Mama on a Mission. I am a 14-year online reseller who sells on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and whatnot. And today, this one might be a little bit harder to talk about than normal, but as you guys know, I have been doing this YouTube channel for, well, this is my third time trying to do it. So third time's a charm. I've been doing my YouTube channel for 8 months, and I have really appreciated the journey with everyone. We've gotten to know, there's so many of you who have connected with me. We've talked about so many different things besides just reselling, of course, our lives and what's happening. And so I wanted to give a little bit of update about my life, about what's going on, but it is reseller related. Now, as many of you know, I have done a ton of things along my reselling journey. I started when my firstborn son I was literally pregnant with him. And I've done a lot of different things along the way. I have been a 6-figure Amazon seller at one point. Cumulatively over the years, I've sold over $1 million in sales throughout these years. I've done flea markets. I've done booths at antique stores. I've done consignment shops. I mean, I've pretty much done a lot of different things. Right now, it's eBay, Poshmark, Depop, which eBay's always kind of been in there. And as many of you know also that I am giving Whatnot a try. I'm about 2.5 months into that. We'll see how that continues to go. All of that is staying the same, but there is a component that I had sometimes mentioned to you all, and I'm not going to make this super long because I'm hoping I can get through it without getting too emotional. You guys know I'm an emotional wreck sometimes. An emotional wreck. One other way that I have resold over all of these years, over the last 3+ years, is that I co-own a brick and mortar resale shop with my sisters. And it's been a little over 3.5 years, and it's been super fun. And some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, what is happening? This Kimmy girl, she always keeps me on my toes. Always keeps us going. So I've always had the online portion of my business for the last 3+ years. And then I've had the brick and mortar resale shop, which is what it definitely was part of my income. And I always said that my online stuff was part-time, and then the resale shop was part-time because I had separate inventory for my resale shop. I had to work the shop myself. That was a whole different component, and that was like my full-time, the way that I make money full-time cumulatively between those two pieces. So if you've been following me for a while, anything before this on this YouTube channel has been as a part-time reseller online. That portion. So when you saw my numbers, my weekend sales, I devoted about half my time to that part of the way I make money for my family. And the other part has been the shop. And, oh geez, can I do this? I need to. I need to get through this, and because my reselling business is going to change. That's the announcement. That's what's happening. Okay, hold on. I promise, anybody who's on my channel that's newer, I am not usually like this. My channel, we're like sweet and sassy, a little sarcasm, it's every once in a while I have videos like these where I'm just like, something is happening in my life, and I do like sharing it with all of you because we have a little community here, and I've really enjoyed connecting with everyone. So, excuse me. I'm going to be puffy-eyed and red-faced probably for the rest of the video, but gosh, I think it's my old age. I just become an emotional wreck. Is that what happens when life happens to you? And I didn't really think I was going to cry because it's okay. Everything is okay. It's like that meme where it's like that dog or whatever and everything's on a fire. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. We've decided to close the shop. As of this video, when I'm going to put this video out, we are closing the shop after over 3 years. And when I say it's fine, I promise you, it really is fine. It got a little rocky. It's my two sisters and I, and life happened to all of us in different ways. And we were having a really hard time juggling the responsibilities of the shop with our other lives. So for me, that's my sons and my online business. I think I was the third. Like, I was still doing okay. Like, at times it was rough. It was hard to manage. It was, the time constraints of like owning a small business, of course, is really difficult. My other two sisters were having a harder time, and I will say, in my opinion, it was more their choice than it was mine. But I understand it, and I'm okay with it. It really is okay. It's fine. My two sisters are also nurses. They also have their own families. So, while we were doing this resale shop, which started as like, literally, this is how it started. My sister drove by this building in her town. Because for me, it was a little bit of ways. And there was a for rent sign. And we started out by just joking, like, let's all start a business together. Like, there was, if you're ever going to start a business, don't start it the way we did. Don't start it out by seeing a resale, like a sign for rent, shop for rent, and be like, yeah, I'm just going to go and start a business like 3 weeks later. We hemmed and hawed for quite a while. We had a couple different ideas. Let's just all list our inventory there, because my sister is also resell part-time as well. And we were like, wouldn't it be fun to just like all list things in a building, like list it all together, just for a way for us all to bond. And it turned into, let's open up a resale shop. And literally it happened within 3 weeks. We never took out a loan. We never were in debt. We never borrowed money from anybody. Like, we started this thing from scratch, and we literally were pretty much profitable the whole time. So if I can say anything, it was very random. It was fun. It's a piece. It will always be a piece of my history in my, my reselling life. But it was just time. And like I said, it is okay. But it's a huge transition in my reselling business for the last 3+ years. Because now I have to transition my business. So my sisters have nursing. That's what they've always done on the side. Not on the side, like that's their thing. So for 3 years, fairly consistently, that was a big piece of my income. Like I said earlier, my income that I share here was always my online income, my sales, my reselling business, and that was that's part-time. So now something has to change because I am losing that income. I'm losing that part of my business. And to be fair, it was a lot of times it was a horse apiece, whether or not the week was better at the shop or the week was better on my online sales. And a lot of times they were very similar. Sometimes one was way better than the other, right? And that's reselling, and owning a small business in general is always that way. Like, it's always a roller coaster, right? But for my resale business, now I have to change. Good luck with that, because change is hard. But it doesn't matter, because the shop is cleared out, everything's gone, and that part is over. It's over, which it was really nice. My sons and my husband came to help clean up all of my crap. And we took a picture outside the building, and I feel like that will be really nice someday. It's a piece of my history. So from here, gosh, I'm such an ugly crier. So my reselling business is changing. What would I say to anybody who wants to start a resale shop? Know your market. We did a little bit of research about the location. We had a really good car count, like the count of people who drove by a lot. I'm not sure if the town itself was like the best location choice, because it was a smaller town. But hey, I live in like semi-rural Wisconsin. It's, I'm not in Milwaukee or Chicago or any of these big cities. You know what I'll tell you? If you make it through that ugly cry, this is what I'm going to tell you. And anybody who's ever worked retail or with the public in general on a continuous basis, it's hard. We made some fantastic relationships, friendships, bonds with the community in amazing ways with a lot of other small businesses, but dealing with the public is hard. And as much as I love people and I deal with people, I can socialize with anybody. My sisters will even tell you that, like, I'll go basically anywhere and I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Like, it's not really that, it's just a part of who I am. But that part is really difficult. We also wanted to try to hire someone, and that process was a rocky roller coaster, and the hours just weren't working out, and all, so if you ever thought about doing a brick and mortar, obviously online is where the people are at a lot, right? People order online all the time. Whatnot is very hot right now. eBay has always been a solid way to get customers. Your customer base, the, amount of people that see you there are, is a lot. So it was fun. There was obstacles, of course, along the way. But at the end of the day, my resale business is changing. The shop is closing. And that was a pretty significant part of my income. So what's my plan? I don't have a plan. Everything is on fire behind me. I don't know what's happening. I do wonder how Whatnot can be a piece of that puzzle. I'm still trying to figure that out and seeing how I could make it successful. I've only been on Whatnot 2.5 months. But I'm losing income without having the shop. I am gaining time. So I did go to the shop several times a week. I had to work the shop, open to close several days a week. So I will be gaining that time back. And I have to really strategize and think about how I can best utilize that new time in order to grow my other parts of my business, in order to kind of supplement that income and those sales that I'm losing from not having the shop anymore. So you will be seeing maybe an update once a month or something on how that is going, what my strategy is going to be. Luckily it is, end of October. November, we are kind of missing out on some sales for November and December. However, December was historically very slow for us at the resale shop, but most of our items were used. So if you think about it that way, we weren't a huge destination for holiday, for Christmas. We did have like some jewelry and things like that I, would have been giftable, but historically, honestly, December wasn't our best month. I'll just tell you that. So pluses and minuses here. That's the news. That's the update. If you made it this far, saw me ugly cry, I love you so much. My reselling business is changing. I will be having to do updates and re-strategize, especially for 2026. I need to think about what I'm going to do in order to recoup that income, what my goals will be as far as like listing. Am I going to do more Whatnots? Am I going to try to list more? So my current goal, honestly, my current listing goal was between 5 and 10 for a long time. I kind of known this was coming. Some of you might even comment that you thought something was going on based on the things that I said in my videos. I've known this was coming for a couple months now. It's been a rocky road, and then we made a decision quite a while ago. So I bumped up my daily listing goal to 10. And I think if I'm going full-time online only, I either have to bump up my Whatnots or really pump those up, or I need to up my goals as far as my online listing. I need to be doing at least 10 to 15, maybe even more, because if I'm really only part-time on these online platforms, then I really need to up my goal so that hopefully then the train will go a little bit faster on those platforms, and I will hopefully bump up those sales. So it's going to be a journey. Change is hard. That part is over literally as of this video coming out. Bless my kids and my husband for always being a positive piece of that journey. And of course, everyone else. But, my sons have worked the shop with me. My husband, helped put up racks. It's just, it's bittersweet. That's what we kept telling all of our customers, which a lot of them, they came in to, support our last few days and say, goodbye. I had a couple customers who came multiple times to say goodbye. It's bittersweet because it is okay. And especially for my two sisters, their life and their situation and scenario changed pretty significantly. It wasn't working for them anymore. And I was the one that was farthest away, and I worked. We all took the hours, but I lived quite a far way away. So it was, it was a big investment of my time. So hopefully we all can take a little bit of winter to recoup, recover, replan, reorganize, everything. Get something going, because that is going to change. That is what it is, right? So to all of my internet friends out there that have followed me for all these 8 months, I've been doing this channel now consistently. 3rd time's the charm. It took me 3 times to really get this channel up and going. I'm very thankful for everyone who is here. I'm staying with the channel. Of course, I really love connecting with all of you, but that's what's happening. That's what's going on. Sorry for the ugly mess. Look, I got all hivey. And I promise, if you made it to the end and you're not subscribed, or you've never really heard of my channel and you don't know what's going on, I promise most of my videos are upbeat, they're informative. We talk about all things reselling, thrifting, eBay, Poshmark, Depop, whatnot. Because that's been my journey the whole time. So like I'm saying, Amazon was a piece of my puzzle for a couple years, and I decided that I transitioned to something else. So the shop, although it was a little more personal because it was ours and I did it with my sisters and my family, it's just a transition piece. What's next? What can I do next? Maybe if you made it to the end, tell me what you think, what my new goals should be. How am I going to recoup that kind of sales and income part of my business, in order to, obviously, the mama on a mission is I'm trying to pay them bills and to support my kiddos and to have enough money to pay for their groceries, because they eat me out of house and home. So that's it. You guys check in. Let me know. Thanks for listening. I really do appreciate you guys. And it will be fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We'll figure it out. And I'm just going to reset some goals and replan. That's it. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.